Hey everyone, welcome back to Heartfelt Tales. If you're new here, you're in for something special today. Imagine this, you're a single dad, exhausted from another long day at work, your little girl waiting at home with her big hopeful eyes, and your no-nonsense boss corners you with 4 words that could change everything, only one room left. What would you do? Stick around till the end because this true inspired story of sacrifice, heartbreak, and unexpected humanity will leave you reaching for tissues and rethinking what really matters in life. If this story moves you even a little, smash that like button right now. It helps more people discover these tales, and subscribe with notifications on so you never miss a story that reminds us why we're all here fighting through another day. Let's dive in. The fluorescent lights in the open-plan office of Apex Marketing hummed like a tired beehive as Alex Thompson glanced at the clock. 7:42 p.m. His shoulders ached from hours hunched over the campaign boards, but his mind was already miles away in their tiny 2-bedroom apartment across town. Mia would be waiting. 8 years old, with her mother's soft curls and the same stubborn smile that could light up the darkest nights. Alex, my office. Now. Sarah Kensington's voice cut through the fading chatter like a blade. She was the boss everyone respected and feared in equal measure, sharp suits, sharper mind, and a reputation for never missing a deadline or an opportunity. At 38, she had climbed the corporate ladder with iron determination, leaving little room for anything softer. Alex nodded, saving his file with steady fingers despite the knot forming in his stomach. He followed her into the glass-walled corner office overlooking the rain-slicked city streets. The storm outside had been raging for hours, turning the evening commute into a nightmare of flooded roads and cancelled buses. Sarah closed the door and leaned against her desk, arms crossed. For the first time in the 3 years he'd worked under her, she looked uncertain. The team retreat got moved up because of the client deadline. The mountain lodge only had so many spots. We've assigned rooms, but there's been a mix-up with the bookings. She paused, her perfectly manicured nails tapping once against her arm. Only one room left, Alex. It's yours if you want it. He blinked. The annual strategy retreat was legendary, 3 days of brainstorming, bonding, and big ideas at a luxury lodge 2 hours outside the city. Attendance wasn't mandatory, but skipping it often meant falling behind on promotions and visibility. Alex had planned to drive up early tomorrow with the others, but Mia's school had a parent-teacher meeting he couldn't miss. His neighbor, Mrs. Patel, had agreed to watch her overnight, but it was never easy. "I appreciate it, Sarah," he said carefully. "But She cut him off with a wave. "Before you say anything, I know your situation. Single dad. It's not lost on me how many late nights you've pulled while still being there for your daughter. This room has the private balcony, better Wi-Fi. Take it. You deserve a break." The offer hung between them. Alex felt the familiar weight settle on his chest, the weight of 2 lives balanced on his shoulders since the accident 4 years ago. 4 years. It felt like yesterday and a lifetime ago. Lila had been driving home from her night shift at the hospital when the truck crossed the median. Alex remembered the phone call, the sterile hospital lights, and Mia, 4 years old then, clutching her favorite stuffed rabbit, asking when mommy was coming home. He had promised himself that day he would never let her feel alone again. No more chasing promotions at the cost of bedtime stories. No more missing soccer games for client dinners. He had taken the steady but unspectacular account manager role at Apex, turning down faster-track opportunities that demanded more travel. But bills didn't care about promises. Mia's asthma had worsened last winter, requiring expensive inhalers and specialist visits. The apartment was cramped. Groceries stretched thinner every month. And here was his boss, offering him the best room at the retreat like some kind of reward. Alex swallowed. "Sarah, I can't take it." She raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean you can't? Everyone else is paired up. It's a single room. No sharing required." "It's not that. He met her eyes steadily. Give it to Priya. She's been sleeping on her cousin's couch since her breakup, and her mom is sick back in Mumbai. She needs the space more than I do. I'll drive up for the daytime sessions and head back each night. Or I'll join virtually if the roads stay bad. Silence stretched. Sarah stared at him as if seeing him for the first time. The rain hammered harder against the windows. You're turning down the best room, for Priya? Her voice held genuine shock. Alex, the partners notice these things. This could be your chance to stand out. He smiled faintly, the kind of tired but genuine smile that came from years of choosing love over ambition. Mia needs me home. And Priya's been carrying the load on the Henderson account without complaint. She deserves it. Sarah opened her mouth, closed it. For once, the unflappable boss had no immediate comeback. The next morning, Alex woke at 5 a.m. as usual. Mia's small hand was tucked under her cheek on the pillow, her breathing soft and even thanks to the humidifier humming nearby. He made oatmeal with banana slices, her favorite, and packed her lunch with a little note, "Daddy loves you bigger than the sky. Have a great day." Mrs. Patel knocked softly at 7:15. "Go on, Beta. I've got her. And don't let that boss lady work you too hard." The drive to the lodge was treacherous. Rain had turned to sleet overnight, and Alex's old sedan groaned up the winding mountain roads. He arrived just as the morning session started, slipping into the back row beside Priya, who looked refreshed and surprised. "You gave me the room," she whispered during the coffee break. Tears shimmered in her eyes. "Alex, I don't know how to thank you. Mom called last night, the quiet helped her rest." He shrugged it off, but inside, something warm bloomed. Small choices. Big ripples. Sarah watched from across the room during every breakout session. She was quieter than usual, her usual commanding presence softened by occasional glances his way. During lunch, she sat across from him unexpectedly. "Tell me about Mia," she said suddenly, poking at her salad. Alex hesitated, then opened up. He told her about the hospital vigil after Lila's accident. How Mia had refused to speak for 3 weeks until he brought home the same stuffed rabbit from the wreckage. The nights he stayed up researching asthma triggers while working on campaigns. The school play where Mia had played a sunflower and scanned the audience desperately for her dad, only to beam when she spotted him in the third row, still wearing his work tie. Sarah listened without interrupting. When he finished, she looked out at the misty mountains. "I never knew. I just saw the employee who always delivered." "That's all I wanted you to see," Alex admitted. "I didn't want pity." "It's not pity." Her voice cracked slightly. "It's respect. Most people in your position would have taken that room without thinking twice. Hell, I would have." The retreat continued, but the real story unfolded in quiet moments. On the second evening, as the group gathered around a massive stone fireplace for team stories, Sarah surprised everyone by sharing her own. "I grew up in foster care," she said, staring into the flames. "Bounced between houses. Learned early that the only person you could count on was yourself. That's why I climbed so hard. Rooms, promotions, wins, they were safety. But watching Alex turn down comfort for his colleague and his daughter." She looked directly at him. "It reminded me that real strength isn't taking the room. It's knowing when someone else needs it more." The room fell silent except for the crackling fire. Priya wiped her eyes. Even the usually boisterous sales director looked moved. That night, Alex's phone buzzed with a message from Sarah, "Drive safe tomorrow. And bring Mia to the office picnic next month." No excuses. Challenges didn't end with the retreat. 2 months later, Apex faced restructuring rumors. Budget cuts threatened several positions, including Alex's. Mia had a severe asthma attack that landed her in the hospital for 3 days. Alex barely slept, splitting time between her bedside and frantic work on his laptop. Sarah appeared on the third day, carrying a bag of fresh clothes and takeout. "I cleared your schedule. Focus on her." He stared, shocked. "Why?" "Because someone once taught me that family comes first," she said simply. "Even if it means giving up the best room." In the quiet hospital room, with monitors beeping softly and Mia sleeping peacefully between them, Sarah opened up more. Her fear of vulnerability. The relationships she'd pushed away. The promotion she'd chosen over starting a family of her own. Alex shared his lowest moments, the grief that still hit like waves some nights, the guilt of not being enough. They talked until dawn, two wounded people finding unexpected common ground. The resolution came like sunlight after a storm. When restructuring announcements came, Alex wasn't cut. Instead, he received a promotion to senior account strategist, with flexible hours and better benefits tailored for parents. Sarah had fought for it personally, citing not just his performance but his character. "I told the partners," she explained later in her office, "that a man who gives up the last room so others can rest is exactly the kind of leader we need." Priya got her own stable housing through company connections Sarah quietly arranged. Mia's health stabilized with better insurance coverage. And slowly, Alex and Sarah built something new, not romance, but a deep friendship rooted in mutual respect and shared growth. One Saturday afternoon, Sarah joined Alex and Mia at the local park. Mia, now stronger and full of energy, chased a soccer ball while the adults watched from a bench. "Daddy says you're like a superhero boss," Mia announced, plopping down beside Sarah. "But nice ones don't wear capes. They wear suits." Sarah laughed, a real, unguarded sound. "Your dad is the real hero here, kiddo." As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in pinks and golds, Alex felt a profound peace. Life would always have its storms, bills, grief, unexpected roadblocks. But in choosing family, kindness, and integrity over personal gain, he had found something stronger than any corner office or luxury room. Sarah turned to him. "Thank you. For shocking me that night. I needed it." He smiled. "We all need reminding sometimes." And so, dear viewers, that's where our story finds its heart. In a single dad's quiet refusal, an entire office learned that true leadership isn't about claiming the best for yourself, it's about lifting others when you can. It's about showing up for your child even when exhaustion begs you to choose the easier path. It's about bosses who are willing to change when confronted with genuine humanity. If Alex's choice moved you, if Sarah's transformation inspired you, or if Mia's smile reminded you of your own loved ones, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories of real people facing impossible choices with grace. Drop a comment. What would you have done with only one room left? Remember, in a world that often rewards the ruthless, choosing love is the most shocking and powerful answer of all. We'll see you in the next tale. Take care of each other out there. The story of Alex Thompson didn't end on that park bench. Months turned into years, and the lessons rippled outward in ways no one could have predicted. Mia grew into a bright, compassionate 10-year-old who started a school club helping children of single parents. She would tell anyone who listened how her dad once gave away the fancy room, so her friend Priya auntie could talk to her grandma. Kids at school began sharing their snacks and toys more freely, inspired by the tale that spread through parent networks. At Apex Marketing, the culture shifted subtly but meaningfully. Sarah implemented a new family-first policy, flexible hours for parents, mental health days without stigma, and a point system where employees could gift perks like better rooms or event passes to colleagues in need. Productivity didn't drop. It soared. People stayed longer, gave more creatively, because they felt seen. Alex found himself mentoring younger team members, not just on campaigns but on life balance. One evening, a new hire, a young single mother named Lena, came to him in tears after a tough client call. "I don't know how you do it," she said. I feel like I'm failing my son every day. He took her for coffee and shared his story again. The late nights. The fear. The moment he chose to give up that room. It's not about being perfect, he told her. It's about being present. The rest falls into place somehow. Sarah watched these moments with quiet pride. Her own life had changed too. She started volunteering at a local foster care center, mentoring teenagers who reminded her of her younger self. On weekends, she sometimes joined Alex and Mia for hikes or movie nights. Not as a boss, but as a friend who had learned that walls built for protection could also keep joy out. There were still challenges, of course. Another round of industry cutbacks tested the team. Mia had a scary flare-up that required an overnight hospital stay. Alex's car finally gave out, forcing him to rely on public transport for weeks. But each time, the community they'd built responded. Priya organized a carpool. Sarah quietly covered medical co-pays from a discretionary fund she'd fought to create. Colleagues brought meals and offered to babysit. One crisp autumn evening, the company held its annual awards dinner. Alex was named Culture Champion, an award created specifically to recognize the kind of leadership that couldn't be measured in revenue alone. When he stepped on stage, the room erupted in applause. Mia sat at the front table in a sparkly dress, beaming up at her father. I didn't set out to shock anyone, Alex said into the microphone, his voice steady despite the emotion. I just wanted to be a dad my daughter could be proud of. To Lila, who taught me love never really leaves us. And to all of you who showed me that when you give others the room they need, life has a way of making space for you too. Sarah wiped away a tear from the audience. Later that night, as they walked to the parking lot, she turned to him. You know, that night in my office changed me more than any promotion ever could. Thank you for your answer, Alex. It shocked me into becoming a better person. He placed a gentle hand on her shoulder. We shocked each other. That's what people do when they choose to really see one another. Years later, when Mia was applying to colleges, she wrote her personal essay about that single decision her father made during a rainstorm retreat. The essay won her a full scholarship to her dream school. In it, she quoted her dad, "The best rooms aren't the ones with balconies or fancy views. They're the ones you make warm for someone who needs it more." The story spread beyond the company. A local newspaper picked it up. Then a parenting blog. Eventually, it became the kind of tale shared in support groups and HR trainings nationwide. Single parents reached out to Alex for advice. Corporate leaders asked Sarah to speak about building empathetic workplaces. Through it all, Alex remained the same steady man, working hard, loving deeply, choosing family. He never sought fame, but his quiet integrity inspired thousands. And somewhere, in a mountain lodge during another storm, a new group of employees might hear whispers of the single dad who gave up the last room, and changed everything. What a journey, right? From that rainy office confrontation to a legacy of kindness that touched so many lives. This is why I love sharing these stories, because they prove that one selfless choice can rewrite destinies. If Alex's dedication to Mia filled your heart, or Sarah's transformation gave you hope for your own growth, please like this video and subscribe. Share it with a single parent you know or someone who needs encouragement today. Drop your thoughts below. Have you ever given up something important for family or a colleague? How did it change you? Let's build a community of people choosing the higher path. Until next time, remember, the world needs more people brave enough to say no to the best room when someone else needs it more. You've got this. See you soon.